it's alright. Everything will be alright. Yeah. When I'm weak, I pray for strength. Lord, don't you hear me? Faith is the evidence of the things I don't see.
Who's talking?
Mhm.
He really,
No,
it really surprised. I was like, whoa, who
no
is this?
comment.
No comment, no comment. Oh boy, I need to know. What do you think about that, brother? Wow.
No, but
Okay,
be deep down, Wanda is I hate to say it's the black people around him more than him. It's the black
really?
people around him. I've fallen out with people because they worship a man, and you can't say nothing wrong. And it's like, hey, you can critique your spouse. So how dare you think I can't critique a leader in the community? So it's
Thank
like that's
you.
the real issue is how defensive we can be when protecting someone outside our race.
Exactly.
He's not a
Oh,
leader in our
I know
community.
that agitation.
He's not a leader in our community. He's a showcase. He's a showboat. He's a clown. He's an actual
Mm.
opportunist, that wants to actually feed off the black community that he has a church in. I mean, there should have been an actual charge put against him. With them, I don't know where that went. That boys got paid and they shut up. That was crazy. They said he touched their boys. And they ain't heard nothing about it. But he back on the pulpit. I
He
mean,
back on.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
you know, this was rampant
Yeah,
in
but
in
you
Catholic.
know, Jordan, I what I learned to do though, man, honestly, because just like anything, the devil is the great deceiver. So people are getting help. He do help. The issue is it helps so that I can control the masses, so I help a few. But when we say they ain't helping, they can argue against that. And I don't like giving them the ammunition to argue against it. The issue is for the broader community, where does he fit? And that's a problem at. Yeah, you go, what I mean, a lot of our elected officials, they get them crumbs, but they really ain't helping the masses of their constituents. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Correct. And
yes.
that's the problem with most of them. Very few of them are going to be helping the masses and trying to
Exactly.
get people to understand that staying isolated or help, they don't even help sufficient people within their respective wards or their respective districts. And you can't seem to get those who they do facilitate. And it doesn't take but a few hundred of them to come out that they've given crumbs to or gave jobs to or something
That's
to
right.
try to
That's right.
denounce what they're saying. But when you have
Yep.
25,000, 30,000 people in
Yep.
your district or in your ward and you've only facilitated
Yep.
100 in the last 10, 12 years, what are
Oh, wow.
we talking about?
What are we talking about?
Whereas how are you helping the masses and you or if you've helped someone, they don't live in your ward or your district and sometimes not even in your state. Because
Oh,
that they don't look at these congressmen and who they really do help. Many of them are not in their state. And the fact is some of them can have people that can go to college. They give out full ride scholarship opportunities for their staff members and others. And again, our community is totally unaware of that at a
yeah.
large scale.
Oh, wow. Yeah. They, I'm sure they are.
But deep down though, if we talking politics, and we got to do a better job, us as the everyday people. Every single politician have to answer to the committee, whatever committee they're on, chairperson. So you could tell your constituent, I'm gonna pass, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. Once you get put on a committee, whatever you told your constituents won't even get out of committee. So it's definitely ain't gonna reach the whole body because it's stuck in committee until you do what the committee chairperson tell you to do. And so we got to know that's how all, whether it's federal, local, state, that's how it works. So they got to unfortunately play ball in order to get whatever they want out of committee, not let alone the whole body.
And maybe they don't even know the process, I bet.
Of
And when
course
the
not.
and when the new aldermen come in, they don't know the process. It's just
Yep.
like when the new presidents come in, they don't know the
Yep.
process.
Yep.
And
Yep.
again, no new president is going to come in and make you and do anything that he or she has promised, because they're still living under the old president's laws and Congress's old laws. We're always 4 or 5 years behind in whatever we're
Mhm.
doing, and people don't understand that. And I mean, it's
Oh,
just It's an education that needs to be taught. Now, the only thing that it's not 4 or 5 years behind, maybe, is what you do for your social service programs, i.e., Social Security, Medicare, SNAP. Those things can be done within that particular fiscal year. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of people don't know that the government. This is the end of September is the end of the fiscal year for the federal government. The new fiscal year starts October 1st. Most
Yep,
people don't know that.
No,
yep,
you're right.
yep,
That's
yep, yep.
that's what we need to use these forums for, Sandra, is to educate our people about what each individual political office does and what you can expect from that office, because people don't know.
Not what you
It,
can expect, what you need to require from them. We're
Okay,
not
so what you
holding
need
these
to
people
require.
accountable. And for these congressmen who only run 2 years, the shenanigans they're pulling now, they need to clean the entire Congress out from them Republicans. I would switch and vote Republican, and I'm not, just to get their asses out. I'd vote Democratic straight down the ticket. I'd vote Independent. Matter of fact, I'd vote Quaker if they were on the doggone thing. Yeah, because Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck could have did a better job. They would have actually opened their mouths and said something. The inhumane acts that have occurred to any and everyone in all shape, forms, and fashion. And even if they're hurting big industry now. But the fact that you would be so complicit as not to do anything, just to roll over. And I don't care whether you're in the Epstein files. I don't care if you were part of the crucifixion of Christ. I don't care what it is you did. I don't care how much pedophilia you've done or whatever. You're sitting here in this role. You don't allow this to continue. You do not allow this kind of, and I don't care whether you like blacks, whites, or hate women and LGBTQ plus. I don't care, because you don't inflict this kind of harm on the human race. They're human. You let God do. If you say you're a Christian, and that's the hospice, but I'm going under. The hospice I'm going under is they claim to be Christians. Now, if they told me they told me they were atheists, or if they told me they worship the tree, or they worship rocks, I would
that's
understand. I
Sandra,
would
you already know
understand.
slavery. So they said they was Christ back then with the slave Bible. So we know what that means. So,
Again, and again, that's a lie too. So, but that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, there this kind of mess. They have to. I'm not buying for that. And the fact that we're paying them, this is the thing that people don't get upset about. Our taxpayer dollar, our money, we paying them. That's the thing I think people forget. Every politician we pay. There is no politician that is being paid with private funds. Not a one. Their healthcare service is there available because we make it possible. And people don't understand that. And you're talking about communicating. Communicating the truth is what you need to teach people how to hear. Communicate the truth, put the truth out, and they need to learn to be receptive, whether you like it or not. You can't pick and choose what you want to hear, but that's how people hear. And unfortunately, that's what adversely affects communication.
And that's why we can't come to any, where we haven't thus far come to any uh, agreement. We need to compromise with one another in these offices where you're affecting what you do affects your constituents. You need to be making
They're
sure.
not trying to compromise, Wanda. I think the thing that you misunderstand is some of this is by design, and some of the
for
others
sure.
they're just not they're not trying to make it better. I can honestly tell you, long before this fool got in office, they didn't try to make it better. I mean, like I said, they didn't try to make it better when President Obama had to serve 8 years without a budget. They didn't try to make it better. And again, you run the country for 8 years on continuing resolutions. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they weren't
I,
trying to make it better. And again, what was the problem with the communication then? It wasn't even, they weren't even at risk of the things that you're worried about now, or that they say they worry about. They were not out in the forefront because all this stuff was a bunch of malarkey anyway. But
the good.
I'm sorry, Cy, go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say the good news is their time is up and their population is in the world of trouble, just like in Europe is in the world of trouble. The Asian population is in the world of trouble. The only population that's growing astronomical is African and the Latino community. So the rest of them, they finna lose some power that they never could imagine, and that's why you see them fighting so tooth and nail to preserve what they call supremacy, but I really say inferiority.
Well, they got a new thing coming up now because China and India are in a technological trade agreement, IT
Hmm.
type trade agreement. Both of them have some like 3 billion people. So 3 billion is 6 billion people, and they're going to manage and run and control some stuff. I mean, when we start thinking about the business of it and the change and the shift, I agree with you. Right now, the black is the thing to be. I just said that in another meeting because
Thank you. Thank
black
you.
is the thing to be. I told me
Thank
white
you.
people want to be black right now because black
Thank you.
is the thing to be, even amongst the other countries. Everybody is
Thank,
all behind black
thank you.
people right now.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese,
Yes.
everybody but Russia. The
Yes.
Australians and the ones in New Zealand again. That
No,
black is
no,
the
no,
thing to
no,
be.
Sandra. No, Russia showed the real Madonna. They showed the black. So Russia is
Oh,
helping.
they didn't
They
like it.
would have killed Burkina Faso president if it wasn't for Russia. So Russia is keeping them European. France would have been killed, the AES alliance. So now Russia has been an ally to our African brothers over there.
But again, that's only because I think they're afraid of them. I don't know how, and I hope it doesn't shift. But right now, like I said, the black is the thing to be. What we need to do here in America is get our stuff together and
Yes.
start educating our folks, because that's, or as Obi says, informing our folks, because that's the problem. Our people are grossly misinformed, grossly misinformed. They've been grossly misrepresented, and a lot of misinformation has been provided to them. And again, to change that crazy mindset that they've got and to be open and receptive and to stop being so fearful. I don't know where all this fear and anxiety comes from, but again, I can tell you it's something that you got to put aside. I don't know if we made some are certain members of our generations. We got 5 generations we deal with now in the world, which is a lot. And of that 5, that fourth, the next to the last generation, them 30s and 40s and maybe almost 50, they're very fearful. I mean, I don't get it. The younger people are saying, no, no, we're not doing that. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what has that fear. I don't know where that fear is coming from. And they look to the left, they look to the right again. They still can't make up their mind whether to go for it, sit down across the street. I mean, and then once you talk to them about it, you done made them anxious. They have an anxiety attack, and I'm not putting. That's really real. But what did we do, and how do we overcome this without necessarily overly medicating them? How do we? What is that fear? What's driving it, and how do we effectively address it so that you can be all that you need to be? And I'm talking about the black community. I'm not going. I'm not delving into anybody else's stuff,
Oh
because
yeah. All of
as people
it.
of color, we don't have that luxury to be afraid like that, male or female. We don't have that
Yeah.
luxury.
Sandra, it's a video. Y'all can Google it. A black man asked Chat GPT if you had to come down, if God had to come down in the world, what race would he want to become? I
And
don't know if
what
anyone
was
saw
I
that.
saved that.
Y'all
I
saw that?
have that video. I saved
Did
that
what?
you
video.
did
I
Play
you
it,
have it
share
Sandra.
the
now.
Play
tear?
it.
Did
No,
you
I'm not
share
gonna
the
save it
tear,
right now. I have
Sandra?
to pull it and send it to you. I have it. I saved it
Did
when
you
I
share
saw
the
it.
tear? Like, did it hit you emotionally?
Yes, it did. I was all for it. I already knew that though. You know, I'm one of them these, as they call me. They used to call me and tell me I'm arrogant. They used to tell me that all the time, and I was in civil rights. I didn't care. But because I was proud of myself and I know who I am as a people and what my people's contributions are, I can be arrogant. I'm a child of the king. I've always said that. But I saved it, and I saved it for to share with my granddaughter. But I love that.
Yes,
I have it,
yes,
and I'll email it to you, Wanda, when I get off,
yes,
and I'll email it to you. You can send it out to everybody else. I love
yes.
that.
Okay. Okay.
But Sandra, the key was the white people need see. We know, but they need to hear. And this is a so-called anonymous. It's not biased. So for Chat GPT to say that and give real details, come on now, they gotta really look in the mirror.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I love it because the fact, like you said, when they do Chat GPT, even for the scholarly information or information that's provided, this is like you say, this is a dump thing, a dump tank for, again, those who are considered knowledgeable people. I mean, this is supposed to be the knowledge, like scientists put it in and all this stuff. So this is not, even though and that's just only because of me, I always can say something that's skewed, but that's Sandra. But still, they don't view it as skewed. They take the information, turn it in for their work and all this other stuff, and they accept what comes out of Chat GPT. So with that being said, and again, even when the person was listening to it, he was like, well, wow. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I'll take it. I didn't know
Well,
what
he
it was
gave
going to
real
say.
examples though. He wasn't just him mouthing off. What he
No,
said, you
right.
can't argue against.
No, he couldn't. He could not. So again, that's why I saved it. I said, you hear? I said, now this part of AI, I'm gonna keep and support and share because this. You did not
That's right.
expect AI to tell you that, now did you?
I did not. I did not. I did not. Yes, indeed. I sure did not. That was beautiful. Yeah, that was beautiful. We need to push that. Everybody needs to hear that. And in a nutshell, just so everybody know, we are strong among just imaginable the strength and the resolve, and we do need to reinforce that to each other. And I've been saying, every black person I see in this country, I know you've been persevering to get to wherever you are. Even if you're in a beat down status, you didn't give up. You still living, and that we need to just make sure we paying homage to each other for how strong you got to keep pressing on, no matter what, in this environment. Powerful, real powerful.
Yeah, and I think that's much needed because I do that, and I do that a lot with my grandchildren, and I do that a lot with my family members and my cousins. Unfortunately, I don't do that enough, I would say, with people in the community because unfortunately, I don't work with children. I don't really work with children. I don't because I had my own children. I had my grandchildren. I had five of them, and I was like, "Oh my God! I just if I can navigate these and get them up and growing, I know I need another double medal." But as I see the pain and the strife, as I hear and I see that again, that, I was one of those people under the assumption I grew up with very loving Black people. They were strict. Oh, trust and believe they were strict. They had standards, but they were loving and they were empowering. I didn't realize that other families were not like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And once I really got a chance to see the absence, I saw it though in adults because as I worked in civil rights, as they came to my office, I saw the pain, the hurt, the insecurities. And as I'm sitting there listening to the person, I realized this person didn't get what they needed as a child.
Mm,
And then they were even more ridiculed and criticized and beaten down as the adult because they didn't have the strength and didn't demonstrate the strength as that was needed to make it in this world as
this
a
world.
professional. And so therefore they suffered. And I felt then, I said, I'm gonna keep working with these adults because I would be cussing some grown people out because my thing is I had to say this a long time ago in a meeting here in the city of Chicago when I was with CAPS. Big meeting, as a matter of fact, real big meeting. Several hundred people were there. I had to let them know then that Black people, we value our children. There's a big lie out here, big misnomer that Black people, we don't value our children. And at that time, my daughters maybe were 8, my son, these had to be 16. And I let them know, not only does Sandra Campbell Thompson value her children, every Black mother that I knew
Mm,
valued their children and their father. And so don't ever think that for regardless of their financial situation, or
yeah.
whether they're incarcerated or not. That and I know a lot of people incarcerated, but I do know love is love. I don't give a damn where you are. And
Yeah.
when I value my kid whether I'm there or not. So that was a big thing I knew as when my children were young, that for some kind of reason, a lot of whites, racist or not, they did not think we valued our children. And I had to really push that while I was working and doing my stuff in the community. And again, as well as the fact also they thought Black women were not educated. I don't know what made them think that. I don't know who told y'all we didn't go to school, but that was the way they were thinking.
Yeah.
And they came up with that mess again, maybe because what big media was putting out, meaning ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, but
Right.
that's not what was going on in the communities. And I worked in a variety of communities with a
Right.
variety of people, and that was not true.
Yep.
So I think they kind of have gotten past that, and they were looking for something else. Because when I went and worked in Lily White, West Virginia, which is not, it ain't with Lily White. There's a time when I was out there, the Black population for the whole state was 0.08. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it was only 2 million people in the whole state. But when I went out there, if I was going to say somebody didn't value nobody, I was down there and everybody was fentanyl addicts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Still
And they
is.
was dropping fentanyl and what's that other stuff they like to do that they go in the hotel, methamphetamines. They were doing that. And I didn't had no, that Ohio River Valley
Yep.
was full. And they were talking about sending their kids. I like, don't send y'all kids to these universities down there for what? Because the drugs was the thing, you know. And
The
I'm
homeless.
looking at that and saying, now you're talking about somebody not valuing your kids because you're not even strong enough to tell your kids not to do this. And you're not willing to fight for your kids' lives. They were putting out Norcan before anybody up here knew anything about Norcan. We were
Yeah.
using Norcan down there in 2016 and 2017. Kentucky had a governor had the nerve to say again, predominantly white, saying this. He was only going to allow them to do it twice. This is the governor, if they did it again, he didn't want them to keep bringing them back with Norcan. Wait a minute, this
Yep.
your people that's doing that. This ain't black people he talking about. He thought these white kids are killing themselves. He had the nerve to say he going again trying to be God. He ain't the governor no more. But that's why he lost. You gonna tell these people that you want to make a law where they can't give out Norcan more than 3 times? Black people, we would have never said that. Never.
But now with
Never.
crack, they locked us up for it. They ain't give us nothing but the jail
That
cell.
was
So yeah.
that was
So
deliberate. That was to break up the family. That was to get rid of the race.
yeah.
But here this fool is, he doing this to his own people. They weren't trying. I'm telling you, they were ODing down there, so they couldn't even keep up with it. They was just
Yeah.
that bad. And
Yeah.
again, Norcan, they were giving it away before they even knew about it here in Illinois. They were giving
Right.
it away down there, trying to save those people. And then for you to come up here, so it craziness is everywhere. But what we have to do as a people is keep our head. I heard one of our team members said today, our problem is we trying to be like them. And again, his age group has said that, but I listened to that from my uncles too, because they forewarned us of that. Don't get so educated you become white.
Come
I
on.
used to go, what?
Come
And
on.
then when he used to say that, he walked past us. I'm like, what is he talking about?
And my dad used to say,
And
we
that's
don't
how
become an educated fool.
well, no, but no, what he was trying to say, it ain't about being the fool. You forget your identity. You start to assimilate with them.
Yep.
Because Wanda, if you look at those who went to PWIs, now those that were HBCUs, you
Yeah,
have to worry about it. But those of us that were at PWIs,
yeah,
that is a real risk
yeah,
of you lose yourself.
yeah.
You lose who you are, you lose your sense of black community.
That's right. Because then they start, yeah, people that you report to start saying, you're not like the others. And I'd be
Well,
like,
that's when they're trying to brainwash you, right? But
what
they
do
can
you
only, like I
mean
said,
I'm not like the others?
they told me I was too arrogant. They never had, because I used to make the comment, when you see me, when I walk into a room, first I'm gonna take over the whole room. I did that deliberately. I was taught that. Secondly, the first thing you see is that I'm black. The second thing you see is I'm a woman. So don't ever get it twisted. And there were many times I walked into an all white environment, and there was 103 of them there, 105, 76, 32. Okay, let's go. All right, let's get this show on the road. Are we late? No, I was never really late. Let's go. What we doing? But they expected someone else. I've had several people tell me on the phone or through email when they saw me, they thought I was a white girl. You should have seen the look about their face when I introduced myself as Sandra Campbell. Their jaws dropped. They wondered, who is she? Who's this? Oh yeah, you thought you were talking to a white girl, huh? No, I'm all black. Okay, now what you say about them our people again? I've
Oh,
had that happen many, many times, more times than I would like to admit in a professional environment. And those people, and I go, those people, who are we talking about now? Who? And then they went on, the people of color.
looking at a person of color.
No, they're on the phone, idiots,
Oh,
talking to
oh,
me.
they hadn't
Yeah.
seen you. Okay.
And I've had directors or as a commander sitting there who again, then they say people of color because they've seen the commander, and the commander goes, and I said, don't try to save them. Don't try to save them. He mute the phone, and I'm like, I didn't mean for you to hear that, Miss Campbell. Why not? I'm telling you what your people doing. Now we know. Now we know. And I've talked to this person 6 times. They know they were talking to a black person. But let you tell the black people again, black women, we're aggressive, we're angry, and we're not educated.
Mm,
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, I'll bid you a good night. That's ridiculous.
Is this the way we end the show? No, it's called. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Since I was temporary co-host, I'm going to step in again. It was nice having you. Sai, thank you for coming. Brother Jordan, always a pleasure. Obi, again, thank you very much. Rose, beautiful, wonderful Rose, thank you so very much. Margot could not join because she said the password didn't work, but we'll work on that. We're sorry for any technical issues. Join us next Wednesday for our next CC News Media on point. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. And Obi, what you say, Obi? Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace in
Wake
the
up.
streets.
Peace in the, and there we go. Rose say peace in the street.
Have a good
And
night.
peace out. Good night.
Good night.